Scarcity says, I can't. Abundance asks, how can I? Your mindset decides your future long before your money does. Abundance isn't found, it's trained. Chapter 9. Abundance. Mindset versus scarcity. Mindset. The difference between thinking, I don't have it, and how can I get it? The way you speak to yourself about money shapes your entire financial life. Two simple phrases, I don't have it, and how can I get it, may appear similar, but they represent fundamentally different mindsets. One closes doors, the other opens them. One reinforces limitation, the other activates creativity. One belongs to a scarcity mindset, and the other belongs to a mindset of abundance. When someone says, I don't have it, the conversation ends. The mind shuts down. There is no search for options, no exploration of possibilities, no curiosity about solutions. This phrase reflects a belief that resources are fixed, that opportunity is distant, and that circumstances are immovable. It places the individual in a passive position, observing life rather than shaping it. Scarcity thinking convinces you that your present situation is permanent, leaving little room for growth or transformation. This mindset often develops from past experiences of lack, from environments where opportunities felt restricted, or from years of emotional conditioning. People who internalize scarcity believe that resources are limited and that others' success somehow diminishes their own. They may hesitate to take risks or pursue new paths because the fear of failure feels stronger than the hope of possibility. Scarcity does not only limit finances, it limits imagination. In contrast, the mindset behind the phrase, how can I get it, expands your world. It signals openness, curiosity, and agency. It tells your mind to search for solutions rather than accept limitations. This question activates problem-solving, creativity, and resilience. It shifts you from a passive state to an active one, encouraging you to explore what is possible instead of resigning yourself to what is not. When you adopt an abundance mindset, challenges become invitations to grow rather than reasons to retreat. You begin to see resources as expandable through skill, effort, strategy, or collaboration. You understand that wealth is not only about what you currently possess, but about what you are capable of creating. Abundance thinking invites opportunity because it encourages action. It prompts you to learn new skills, pursue alternative paths, seek advice, or identify creative ways to achieve your goals. This shift from limitation to possibility does not happen by accident. It happens by awareness. Each time you face a financial obstacle, you choose which mindset will guide you. You can default to scarcity, which emphasizes what is missing, or you can choose abundance, which emphasizes what is possible. The difference is subtle but transformational. Thinking, how can I get it, does not guarantee immediate results. It does not ignore reality or deny challenges. Instead, it acknowledges the present while honoring your potential. It allows you to approach difficulties with a sense of empowerment rather than defeat. It helps you recognize opportunities hidden beneath constraints, opportunities that scarcity thinking would have overlooked entirely. This mindset is the foundation of financial growth. It strengthens resilience, fosters creativity, and encourages learning. It transforms setbacks into lessons and limitations into stepping stones. When you stop shutting down the conversation and start asking better questions, you begin to move from restriction toward possibility. Over time, these shifts accumulate. You start to see progress in areas that once felt stagnant. You notice new paths that previously seemed invisible. You take small steps that eventually lead to meaningful changes. What began with a simple question becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a defining part of your financial identity. In the end, the true difference between scarcity and abundance is not your bank balance, it is your perspective. One mindset tells you that you are stuck. The other reminds you that you are capable. When you replace "I don't have it" with "how can I get it," you unlock the door to growth. You reclaim your power. You choose possibility over limitation. And in that choice, abundance begins. How scarcity mindset creates sabotage. A scarcity mindset does not simply influence the way you think. It shapes the way you behave. It quietly creates patterns that undermine progress, distort priorities, and lead you away from the very stability you want to build. When someone believes, consciously or unconsciously, that there is never enough, their decisions reflect fear rather than possibility. This fear becomes a form of self-sabotage, not because they lack desire to grow, but because they doubt their ability to sustain or deserve that growth. The first way scarcity creates sabotage is through avoidance. When money feels scarce, even the smallest financial task can feel overwhelming. Instead of facing bills, budgets, or obligations, a person may procrastinate, hoping the discomfort will pass on its own. But avoidance leads to missed payments, added stress, and opportunities slipping away. The challenge grows larger, and the emotional resistance grows stronger, reinforcing the belief that they are unable to handle their finances. Scarcity also leads to impulsive decisions. When someone fears that good opportunities are rare and fleeting, urgency takes over. They may spend quickly during moments of emotional relief, fearing that they will not get another chance. They may rush into financial commitments without careful thought, driven by the belief that delaying could mean losing everything. In this way, scarcity convinces people to move too fast in moments where patience would serve them better. Another form of sabotage emerges through underinvestment in oneself. People with a scarcity mindset often hesitate to pursue education, training, tools, or opportunities that could expand their potential. They fear losing the little they have, so they avoid taking steps that could help them grow. Scarcity makes them believe that investing in themselves is a risk rather than an asset. This reluctance to invest reduces their future earning power and keeps them confined to their current limitations. Scarcity also distorts self-worth. When someone has internalized the message that there is not enough, they may begin to believe that they are not enough. They may undervalue their skills, underprice their work, or accept less than they deserve. This self-sabotage is subtle but powerful. It reinforces financial stagnation by reducing the person's confidence in their own potential. They may hesitate to ask for raises, seek better opportunities, or negotiate fairly because scarcity has convinced them to be grateful for what little they receive. A scarcity mindset also leads to rigid thinking. Creativity shrinks. Innovation becomes threatening. New possibilities feel risky rather than inspiring. The person becomes trapped in a narrow view where problems seem permanent and solutions seem unreachable. When the mind closes, progress becomes nearly impossible. Scarcity locks people into patterns that repeat, even when those patterns cause distress. Perhaps one of the most painful forms of sabotage is the tendency to reject opportunities that require patience. Scarcity creates a deep preference for immediate relief over long-term gain. A person may choose a short-term comfort, spending, distraction, or avoidance over actions that would benefit their future. They may abandon plans that are working simply because results do not appear quickly. In this way, scarcity undermines consistency, the very ingredient that builds wealth over time. Scarcity also affects relationships. When someone believes resources are limited, collaboration can feel threatening. Generosity feels unsafe. Asking for help feels like admitting failure. This can lead to isolation, which intensifies stress and limits access to support systems that could guide them toward healthier decisions. Financial growth requires perspective, but scarcity closes the door to the very voices that could provide it. The most damaging effect of a scarcity mindset is that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When someone acts from fear of lack, their actions often lead to outcomes that reinforce that lack. Avoidance creates problems. Impulse creates instability. Underinvestment limits growth. And each outcome strengthens the belief that scarcity is inescapable. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward breaking them. When you understand that scarcity is not a financial condition but a mental one, you gain the power to change the narrative. You begin to see that the mind that fears lack creates it, and the mind that believes in possibility attracts it. Scarcity sabotages not because it is true, but because it convinces you to act as if it is. Awareness dismantles that illusion, and in its place, a new mindset begins to form, one rooted not in fear, but in potential. Practical exercises to train your mind in abundance. Shifting from scarcity to abundance is not a matter of wishful thinking. It requires conscious training. The mind tends to default to fear, especially when money is involved. But with intentional daily practice, you can reshape the way you perceive opportunities, challenges, and your own capacity to grow. Abundance is not just a belief. It is a mental habit that strengthens each time you choose possibility over limitation. The following practical exercises are designed to help you develop that habit, slowly and consistently, until abundance becomes your natural way of thinking. 1. Daily evidence journal. Each evening, take a few minutes to write down 3 examples of abundance you noticed during your day. These do not have to be dramatic. Abundance might appear when you find a solution to a problem, receive help from someone unexpectedly, realize you learned something valuable, or simply notice that you had the resources you needed at the right moment. By documenting these moments, you teach your mind to recognize what it normally ignores, that you live surrounded by opportunities, support, and possibilities. Over time, this journal becomes a powerful reminder that abundance is real and present in your life. Truth, and replace "I can't" with "How can I?" This simple shift disrupts scarcity thinking at its core. Each time your mind presents a limiting thought, "I can't afford this, I can't do that, I don't know how," you pause and redirect the question. Ask instead, "How can I make this possible?" This small change activates creativity instead of fear. It invites your mind to look for solutions instead of obstacles. By repeating this practice consistently, you develop a mindset that searches for options rather than excuses. 3. Visualize the expanded version of yourself. Spend a few minutes each morning imagining yourself living with confidence, clarity, and stability. See yourself making wise decisions, taking calculated risks, and handling money with maturity and ease. Visualization is powerful because the brain processes imagined experiences similarly to real ones. When you repeatedly visualize growth, your mind becomes more comfortable with it. You begin to act in ways that align with the version of yourself you have been rehearsing internally. 4. Practice generous thinking. Generosity is not only about giving money, it is about the intention behind your actions. When you celebrate another person's success, share knowledge freely, or help someone without expecting anything in return, you signal to your mind that there is enough for everyone. This breaks the scarcity illusion. A person who feels abundant is not threatened by the progress of others. Practicing generous thinking reinforces the belief that opportunity is not limited and that someone else's success does not diminish your own potential. 5. Reframe setbacks as lessons. Scarcity interprets every mistake as proof that you are failing. Abundance interprets setbacks as information, essential feedback that helps you grow stronger. When something goes wrong financially, pause and ask, "What is this teaching me? How will this help me make better decisions in the future?" This mindset transforms frustration into progress. It reduces emotional resistance and builds resilience, which is one of the most valuable psychological skills in financial life. 6. Surround yourself with expansive conversations. The people you speak with regularly shape your beliefs more than you may realize. Choose to engage with individuals who think in terms of solutions, growth, and possibility. Conversations filled with pessimism, limitation, or constant fear reinforce scarcity. Conversations focused on learning, building, and evolving expand your sense of what is achievable. Your environment trains your mind. Choose it intentionally. 7. Celebrate small wins. Abundance grows when you acknowledge progress. Each decision that reflects growth, saving when you could have spent, learning something new, resisting an impulse purchase, or taking a small step toward a long-term goal, deserves recognition. Celebrating these moments reinforces your confidence and reminds you that transformation happens gradually. Small wins create momentum, and momentum invites even bigger victories. Building an abundance mindset is not a one-time realization. It is a daily practice. Each exercise strengthens a different part of your internal foundation: your awareness, your self-belief, your creativity, your discipline, and your emotional resilience. Over time, these habits replace fear with clarity and restriction with possibility. Abundance becomes not just something you hope for, but something you consistently create through your thoughts, your choices, and the way you show up in your financial life. Reframing expenses as investments. One of the most transformative shifts in the journey toward an abundance mindset is learning to distinguish between an expense that drains you and an investment that elevates you. Scarcity tells you you are losing money every time something leaves your hands. Abundance asks instead, "What will this create for me?" The difference between these two perspectives can reshape your entire financial life, because it determines whether you see money as something that disappears or something that circulates and returns multiplied. Imagine two people facing the same decision: whether to pay for a course that could improve their professional skills. The first person sees only the price. They feel the fear of losing, the discomfort of spending, and the worry that the money will not come back. Their focus is entirely on what leaves their account, not on what might enter their life as a result. In their mind, this is an expense, an immediate loss that cannot be justified. The second person views the exact same decision through a more expansive lens. They ask themselves, "How will this help me grow? What doors could this open? What long-term value might this create?" They recognize that acquiring knowledge is one of the most powerful investments a person can make. In their mind, the payment is not a loss. It is an opportunity to increase their earning potential, strengthen their confidence, and advance their future. The mindset is completely different, even though the price is the same. This difference does not apply only to education. It also appears in health, relationships, and career decisions. A gym membership, for example, can be perceived as an unnecessary monthly cost, unless you view it as an investment in your physical and mental strength, which directly impacts your productivity and longevity. Healthy food can seem expensive until you understand that illness costs far more in the long run. High-quality tools or software can feel like indulgences, unless you see that they allow you to perform better, save time, or offer more value in your work. Reframing an expense as an investment does not mean justifying every purchase. It means asking a higher-level question. Does this create long-term value? Scarcity stops at the number on the price tag. Abundance looks beyond today and considers tomorrow's benefits. This shift is crucial because many people remain stuck financially not because they lack opportunities, but because they fear spending even when that spending is precisely what would unlock their growth. Consider another example. Someone debating whether to hire a mentor or coach. From a scarcity perspective, this is too expensive, too risky, too unnecessary. But from an abundance perspective, the calculation changes entirely. A mentor can accelerate learning, prevent costly mistakes, and offer insights that would take years to acquire alone. What initially looks like a large expense becomes a strategic investment that compresses time and expands potential. This mindset shift also prevents the emotional burnout that comes from believing every financial outflow is a setback. When you learn to evaluate costs based on potential return rather than immediate discomfort, your decisions become more strategic and less reactive. You stop being paralyzed by the fear of spending, and you begin to choose intentionally, allocating money where it creates the greatest positive impact. Ultimately, reframing expenses as investments is about recognizing that money is a tool, not a threat. When used wisely, it multiplies. When aligned with purpose, it grows. When directed toward knowledge, skills, health, and genuine opportunities, it becomes a foundation for lasting freedom. The abundance mindset does not ask you to spend recklessly. It asks you to spend consciously. It asks you to look beyond the cost and into the possibility. It asks you to see money not as something that leaves your life, but as something that shapes it. When you begin to view your financial decisions through this lens, you step into a new level of clarity and confidence. You stop holding on to money out of fear and start using it as a partner in your growth. And at that moment, you realize that abundance is not measured by how much you keep, but by how wisely you invest in who you are becoming. Money doesn't arrive when you need it. It arrives when you're prepared. One of the most misunderstood truths about wealth is the idea that money should appear in the exact moment we feel desperate for it. Many people wait for a breakthrough, a rescue, or an unexpected stroke of fortune, believing that urgency itself should attract opportunity. But money does not respond to need. It responds to readiness. The financial breakthroughs that change lives rarely come during moments of emotional panic. They come when you have built the mindset, habits, and structure to receive them. To understand this principle, imagine someone who suddenly receives a large sum of money, whether through a bonus, inheritance, or unexpected success. If their mindset is rooted in scarcity, that money will slip through their fingers as quickly as it arrived. Without preparation, discipline, or clarity, the opportunity dissolves. On the other hand, when someone has cultivated strong financial habits, even a small increase in income becomes meaningful. Preparation multiplies what enters your life. Unpreparedness dissolves it. Preparation is not only about learning how to manage money, it is about learning how to handle the emotional weight of money. Abundance requires responsibility. It requires awareness. It requires the maturity to delay gratification, protect long-term interests, and rise above impulsive decisions. Without this inner foundation, external wealth creates confusion rather than stability. This is why people who need money the most often struggle to keep it when it finally arrives. The internal structure is not yet ready to support it. Scarcity convinces you that life is unfair, that opportunities are limited, that the door should open simply because you are struggling. Abundance teaches the opposite. It teaches that money gravitates toward clarity, discipline, and growth. It arrives when you have proven through your daily actions that you can manage it effectively. This principle is not meant to be discouraging. On the contrary, it empowers you. It tells you that financial success is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of alignment. Think of preparation as a bridge between who you are and the wealth you are capable of stewarding. Every skill you learn, every habit you build, every moment you choose discipline over impulse becomes a part of that bridge. Over time, that structure becomes strong enough to support new levels of prosperity. When that moment arrives, when the opportunity finally appears, you are no longer overwhelmed by fear or doubt. You recognize the moment for what it is, and you have the capacity to act on it. This idea also reframes the frustration many people feel when their progress seems slow. You may be learning, saving, investing, and improving, yet not seeing immediate financial results. In those moments, it is important to remember that preparation often happens in silence. It happens in private habits, in small decisions, in invisible moments of discipline. The external reward appears later, sometimes suddenly, but it is always built on a foundation that was created long before. To say that money arrives when you are prepared is to acknowledge that wealth is a reflection of mindset. It rewards consistency more than urgency, planning more than panic, intention more than impulse. It recognizes those who have created room for it, mentally, emotionally, and structurally. The powerful truth is this: you do not need money to begin preparing for abundance. You prepare through learning, through practicing healthier financial behaviors, through making thoughtful decisions with the resources you already have. Even small actions signal readiness. Even modest progress strengthens your foundation. When you live with this understanding, you stop waiting for money to rescue you, and you begin shaping yourself into someone who naturally attracts and sustains it. You shift from desperation to preparation, from wishing to building. And with that shift, the financial opportunities you once thought were impossible begin to reveal themselves. Money does not arrive when you cry out for it. It arrives when your habits, mindset, and decisions make room for it. Preparation is the quiet force that opens the door to abundance. Abundance isn't found, it's trained. Most people move through life believing that abundance is something external, something they must find, stumble upon, or be lucky enough to receive. They imagine that abundance belongs to a select group of people who were born into the right circumstances, discovered the right opportunities, or simply had fortune on their side. But abundance is not a treasure waiting to be found. It is a mindset you cultivate deliberately, patiently, and consistently. It is a muscle you strengthen through awareness and practice, long before results appear in your bank account. Abundance begins with the way you interpret your reality. Two people can experience the same situation, an unexpected expense, a career setback, or a slow month in business, and respond in completely different ways. The scarcity mindset reacts with fear. Things are getting worse, I'm losing control, I don't have enough. The abundance mindset reacts with curiosity. What is this teaching me? How can I adapt? Where is the opportunity hidden in this? The external event is the same. The internal response determines the outcome. This mindset cannot be bought or inherited. It is built. And like any discipline, it must be trained daily. Abundance grows when you choose possibility over limitation. It grows when you focus on what you can create instead of what you lack. It grows when you notice opportunities instead of obstacles. Over time, these small shifts in thinking reshape the way you approach challenges, decisions, and goals. Training abundance also means practicing emotional resilience. Instead of collapsing under pressure or retreating at the first sign of difficulty, you learn to stand in uncertainty without losing clarity. You learn to trust your ability to adapt. You learn to believe that your future can expand beyond your current circumstances. This belief is not naive optimism. It is a disciplined commitment to personal growth. It is the recognition that your mind can either restrict your potential or unlock it. Another essential part of training abundance is learning to celebrate progress rather than perfection. Scarcity tells you it's not enough. Abundance tells you this is a step forward. When you learn to appreciate the small wins, the extra dollars saved, the new skill learned, the disciplined choice made, your brain begins to associate growth with possibility rather than pressure. This shift fuels motivation, which fuels action, which ultimately fuels results. Abundance is also trained through gratitude, not the superficial kind, but a deeper practice of recognizing the value already present in your life. Gratitude expands awareness. It reminds you that even in moments of challenge, you possess resources, strengths, and opportunities that can be used creatively. Gratitude takes your focus away from fear and directs it toward potential. A mind anchored in gratitude rarely falls into despair because it is trained to see beyond the immediate problem. Perhaps most importantly, abundance is trained through consistency. It is not a mindset you adopt once. It is a perspective you return to repeatedly, especially when it is hardest. When fear appears, you choose to pause instead of panic. When uncertainty arises, you choose to think strategically rather than impulsively. When setbacks occur, you choose to learn rather than quit. These seemingly small choices accumulate until they form a new internal identity, one that sees life through the lens of possibility rather than limitation. This is why abundance cannot simply be found. It is not something you encounter by accident or receive from someone else. It is the result of intentional mental training, emotional discipline, and a willingness to expand your perception of what is possible. It is the mindset that allows you to attract opportunities, sustain progress, and navigate challenges with composure. When you understand that abundance is trained, not discovered, you reclaim your power. You no longer wait for life to change. You change the way you approach life. You no longer wait for money to arrive. You build the mindset that naturally attracts and protects it. You no longer hope for a better future. You train your mind to create it. Abundance does not appear suddenly. It grows quietly within you. With every choice, every thought, every belief you strengthen. And when the mind is trained in abundance, life follows. If you believe this chapter could help someone, feel free to share it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe. Your support truly helps us keep creating more content like this.